Here on Sunday, the 16th of August. And yes, okay, the title is the morning sports briefing. I'm very sorry, folks, for coming to you at 3 p.m. in the afternoon. After 136 consecutive days of coming to you every single morning, I slept in today. Sorry, day 137, my alarm didn't go off, and hence we did not go live at 7 a.m. But we will be back at 7 a.m. tomorrow morning, folks. Don't worry, everything is okay. Thank you so much for the lovely messages from people who asked to make sure that I was okay this morning. But yes, seriously, all it was that my phone didn't charge overnight and therefore the alarm didn't go off. Nothing more sinister than that, thankfully. In the news today, then, we have Champions League updates. We have an update from the second test between England and Pakistan. Obviously, rugby results in Super Rugby Aotearoa and Super Rugby AU. We also have NRL results as the Sharks, Rabbitohs and Raiders all win. We've got an update on how the ANZ Premiership Netball Finals will be next weekend. The Thunder played against the Clippers in the NBA. We've got a new leader in the winter sports. UFC 252 is going off. We've got 2 golf championships to update you on, a Formula One race, some America's Cup news, and also cycling news as well. Whew. That's a whole lot of stuff to do to help you start your day the best way, up to date with all the important sports news. Well, not really start your day, but start your afternoon or survive your afternoon. Got to keep the old catchphrases in there, folks. Let's kick off then with the football. And over there, the Champions League, we've got 2 results for you. Barcelona lost 2-8 to Bayern Munich. That's right, 2-8. I had to click on that and go and check that it wasn't penalties. No, that was in regular time. An absolute thrashing. And when one of those 2 goals that Barcelona scored was an own goal by Bayern Munich, Bayern scored 9 of the 10 goals in that game. Wow. For a quarterfinal in the European Champions Cup, that is an absolutely massive humiliation for Barcelona, and shows you that, yes, stuff off the pitch there at that magnificent history club is not all good. Man City went down for 2 late goals, and so they lost 1-3 to Lyon. So Lyon versus Bayern Munich will be that second semi-final, the first one being between the Atalanta and Paris Saint-Germain. Sorry, not Atalanta. Paris Saint-Germain beat Atalanta in the quarterfinals. That's what I'm thinking of. RB Leipzig versus Paris Saint-Germain. So Lyon, a French team against Bayern Munich, a German team. Leipzig, a German team against Paris Saint-Germain, a French team. So yes, it's an all French-German affair in the semi-finals. Will we end up with an all German or an all French? Or will it be a mixed final? We'll have to wait and see. Those games are played on the 18th and 19th of August. That's European time, so probably a day later for us. Over in the A-League, and Sydney FC lost to Western United 1-2. That secures Western United's place in the finals. It means that we now know the 6 teams that we're playing in the finals. They will be Sydney FC, Melbourne City, the Wellington Phoenix, Brisbane Roar, Western United and Perth Glory. But there is one more game to go. That is between Western United and Melbourne City. If Western United win that game, they will climb up to 3rd in the table. Obviously, that'll help with their seedings. If they lose, then they'll finish where they are in 5th. So just a matter of the seedings and who plays who in those elimination or the quarterfinals elimination rounds there over in the A-League. Moving on to the cricket then, and well, not much to report really, because the Saturday was entirely rained out in the second test between Pakistan and England, and with the amount of lost overs now, they haven't even completed 1 innings yet, with Pakistan still at 223 for 9 with 2 days remaining. You've got to say that a draw has got to be on the cards for that one, unfortunately, over there in the cricket. Now, I'm going to hand you over to Stephen, who was available and ready this morning in the early hours. And I'm sorry I stood him up, but he's going to take us through today's birthdays.
No, that's okay, Paul. Listen, I've forgiven him, everybody tuning into New Zealand Sport Radio, or if you can catch this program a little bit later, it is all good. But we've still got some birthdays happening today. A silver medalist at the 2014 Rowing World Championships, a rugby league and rugby international, and a promising freestyle swimmer. And that's where we start our birthdays today. Sam Perry, born this day, the 16th of August 1995, is a New Zealand swimmer. He competed in the men's 100-metre freestyle event at the 2017 World Aquatics Championships. Moving right along, it's a birthday today for Matt Duffy, who should have been playing at Eden Park in about 20 minutes against Canterbury or the Crusaders in the last game of Super Rugby Aotearoa, but we all know it would have been a beautiful day for him, but unfortunately it was not to be. But for whatever it is, he'll still be celebrating his birthday because he's a professional footballer who plays, obviously, for the Blues. He previously played rugby league with the Melbourne Storm in the national NRL and was part of their under-20s premiership winning team way back in 2009. He had one heck of a year that year. He scored 25 tries. In 2011, he was selected for the New Zealand Rugby League team for the 2011 Anzac Test. In to that particular year. In 2017, Duffy was named in the All Blacks for the end-of-year tour, becoming a dual-code rugby international. I'm not too sure if he ever played an international test match, but that's one heck of a feat. So happy birthday to Matt Duffy. And finally, Alistair Bond, born this day, the 16th of August 1989, is a New Zealand rower. Bond is the younger brother of Hamish Bond. He completed a Bachelor of Surveying degree from Otago University and gained his Masters of Environment Management at Massey University. At the 2014 World Rowing Championships held at Bosman, Amsterdam, he won a silver medal in the lightweight men's four with James Hunter, Peter Taylor, and Curtis Rapley. That's our birthdays for today. Gee, Paul, I look outside. It's beautiful. It would have been a great day for that final game, but not to be.
Yes, not to be. Yes, it is a beautiful day out there, and I'll be honest. I've been down at the beach and yes, taking my girls out up for a nice walk, and it was good to have the nice weather after some rainy weekends that we've had recently. Let's be honest. Yes, sorry, I live outside of Auckland. Before anyone goes, Paul, we're not allowed to travel around the country. Yes, well, there's still some travel allowed for us. But first off, actually, a massive thank you from the team of 5 million to a quarter of our population in Auckland for doing their bit in helping containing this virus. Moving on then to the rugby, and as we say, that Blues versus the Crusaders game has been cancelled, but we did have rugby last night, yesterday afternoon at 3 o'clock, where the Highlanders saw off the Hurricanes 38-21. That's the first game that Highlanders have won against anyone except the Chiefs. So a very impressive performance by them last night, stepping up in that in the last game. Hurricanes, let's be honest, been sort of losing players as they go through this season. We've seen Ben Lam head overseas. Houston had to pull out, injured in this one. We also had Van Wyck has copped a 3-game ban for his tip tackle. So yes, they were slowly losing players and sort of ran out of steam at the end of the season. But boy, the Highlanders came together for a good win there. 38-21, really dominating that second half when it was 14-all at half time. Sure, the Hurricanes fans will point at 3 disallowed tries, but the ref got it right in each occasion. And so hence, the Highlanders did enough there. In the second game last night, the Reds saw off the Rebels in a one-sided contest, 19-3. Impressive performance there by the Reds. That season climb up to second in the Super Rugby AU table. Still out in front are the Brumbies on 18. On 16 points, we have the Reds. The Waratahs then just 1 point back on 15, and the Rebels a further point back on 14 points. So really tight in the middle of that table, with the Western Force last there on 2 points. So, whilst the Brumbies have played one less game and still sit top of the table, still looking like the favourites there to get that top table before the final series, the 2 other places are looking really, really tight there over there in Super Rugby AU. And I'm going to hand you back to Stephen, who's going to take us through our NRL update.
Yeah, thanks, Paul. Of course, yesterday, triple header Saturday in round 14 of the NRL, and we started with the Sharks versus the Titans. That game played at Nestra Jubilee Stadium in Sydney in very good conditions. It was 12-all at halftime. 2 tries a piece to each team, but it would be the Sharks that would come away with the win by 30 points to 18 in this particular contest. The Sharks grabbing 5 tries in total to Dugan, Talakai, Katoa, Graham, and Williams. Very good work off the tee from all the Sharks kickers that particular afternoon, all 5 tries being converted. Tries for the Titans to Thompson, Wallace, and Hipgrave, who scored a late try, beg your pardon, to bring some sort of respectability to the scoreline. And incredibly, all tries converted. But there was a little bit of controversy from the match. Gold Coast captain Kevin Proctor is facing the possibility of having played his last NRL game as he awaits punishment for a biting incident, which saw him off at Cogra yesterday. Proctor was accused of biting the arm of Sharks opponent Sean Johnson midway through the second half, and he was sent off by referee Henry Perenara. Now, the two are very, very good friends, so it's a little bit weird. Proctor claims that he was held in a headlock, and he just basically responded while he held in that headlock. He couldn't breathe, so I think there'll be plenty more to come out of that, but not a good look for the Gold Coast captain Kevin Proctor, who's been obviously embroiled in a incident with the Kiwis about a year or so ago again, but we won't get too much into that particular incident. Moving right along in our second game of the day, which was played at Queensland Country Bank Stadium, and it was an absolute thriller with the Rabbitohs getting home 31-30 courtesy of an Adam Reynolds 79th minute drop kick. Plenty of attack, but not a lot of defence in this game. There was a double for the Cowboys for playmaker Michael Morgan, who scored 2 tries, and Alex Johnson, who also got the level-winning try in the 75th minute, picking up a double as well. But the star of the match undoubtedly was Adam Reynolds, who with his particular try and also 4 goals and a drop goal, picked up 13 points in the match. So that final score again, Rabbitohs 31, Cowboys 30. And in our final game of Super Saturday for the triple header, round 14 at GL Stadium in Canberra, it was the Raiders that beat the Broncos by 36 points to 8 after the Broncos led by 8 points to 6 at half time. So obviously a whole lot of unanswered points, 30 unanswered points in the second half. The Raiders are piling more misery on the Broncos. In fact, it was actually the Broncos that started the game first with a try to Jesse Arthurs after 5 minutes, followed by another try by Herbie Farnworth after 36 minutes, but that was their only points. Jordan Rapana with the only try in the first half, and once again, a good display of goal kicking. All 6 tries, beg your pardon, were all converted, and a double to Nick Kotrick, who's been in fine form this year, getting across the line on 2 occasions for the Raiders. So that final score again, Raiders 36 and Broncos 8. As we look at the table, that leaves the Raiders 5th, the Sharks 6th, and the Rabbitohs 7th, respectively, all sitting on 18 points down to 16 points. Just looking out for our games today, and one is about to start pretty soon, around about 4 o'clock this afternoon, so that's not too far away, probably about 45 minutes, is the Knights taking on the Sea Eagles from McDonald Jones Stadium in Newcastle, and our final game of round 14 is West versus the Bulldogs, who are down the bottom of the table. That's from Bankwest Stadium in Sydney. That kicks off at 6:05 this evening. But we will head across and look at the results from the Super League. A good win for the French team, the Catalans, with a 58-0 win over Wakefield Trinity, and in a tight one the later game that played this morning, Warrington getting home over Uddersfield by 19 points to 18. As we have a quick look at the table, the Catlins at the top of the table, Wigan in second place on 10, and Warrington and St Helens make up the top four in the Brett Fred Super League. We'll be back tomorrow morning to wrap up all the results from round 14 and the games that are being played today. But of course, look out for the standoff on a Wednesday night with Brad and Sanjay, and they'll bring you all the important information on not just the NRL, but I'm pretty sure they'll do a bit on the Super League as well. That's all our rugby league news today. Paul, back to you.
Thank you very much, Stephen. And I should have forgotten to say, folks, do join us at 8 p.m. this evening, where we'll be talking about, we'll be reviewing all of that Super Rugby action from the weekend. So that review show will still be going out tonight at 8 p.m. So join myself and the boys as we talk about those games. Moving over then to the netball, and in the ANZ Premiership, the Pulse will be taking on the Tactics in the grand final next weekend down in Southland, but there will be no crowds in that allowed to go in to watch that game. So, folks, that'll all be on obviously Sky TV. The third, fourth playoff between the Northern Mystics and the Northern Stars has been called off, obviously due to the Auckland region lockdown at level 3, where both of those teams are based. They've also called off the Southern Steel versus the Waikato Bay of Plenty and Magic in the 5th, 6th playoff. But they are looking for a team to play the Steel as a curtain raiser for that event, for the grand final. So hopefully a couple of games to watch next weekend in the ANZ Premiership. Moving over to the basketball, and over in the NBA, the Thunder lost to the Clippers 103-107 over there. It's a bit straight. It's been difficult to know what to take from these games in the run-up to the finals, as these teams, most of these teams have qualified for the finals already. For example, Steve Adams only got 6 minutes playing time, even though he was down as a starter. And Gallianadri, his teammate, also only had 9 minutes playing time. So obviously nursing the players through to the finals, trying to keep them match fit whilst also making sure they don't get injured there over there. Moving on then to the golf, and in the Scottish Open, Lydia Ko has climbed up to tied 4th in the standings. She had the best third round in the competition at 4 under, and sits now 3 shots behind the leader Munzo from Spain. Over in the Wyndham Classic, and our 2 New Zealand representatives, Danny Lee and Tim Wilkinson, both unfortunately missed the cut in this one. Kim from South Korea currently leads that one at 18 under over there. Over in the America's Cup, and Team New Zealand has said that this will be going ahead. The America's Cup will still go ahead as planned, no matter what the COVID levels are. They will make adjustments for those levels. The Mayor's office has come out and said that it'll only go ahead if it is safe to do so. So yes, different messages coming out there as to around the America's Cup. Clearly, you'd expect the government and the Mayor's office to have final say rather than the organisers, who clearly do want for that to go ahead. But they're still planning to go ahead as per planned. We also have the Spanish Grand Prix going ahead this weekend. The 2 McLarens on pole and second, as per usual. But the Red Bull in third is apparently the favourite to win the race. So we'll see how that one pans out. In the early hours this morning, we had Il Lombardia, which is one of the 5 one-day monuments in cycling. And our very own George Bennett came second in that one after winning earlier in the week. These are the only 2 races that he gets to lead for his team for the rest of the year. He is a domestique and helping other riders on the team to win. So in his 2 races that he gets free rein, he came first and second. So really good results for him. A shame that he came up just short in Il Lombardia. I'll be honest, I've not seen the race yet. As I say, it was at like 3 o'clock this morning. So looking forward to watching that on replay. This weekend we also have the UFC 252 that is happening with the third fight between Stipe Mikey and Daniel Cromer. So for the apparently the best heavyweight trilogy ever. So it's going to be interesting to see how that one goes. That should be a bit of a classic. And in the co-host or co-top lining that one, we see up-and-coming Sugar Sean O'Malley facing Ecuador's Marlon Vera, which is a classic striker versus grappler matchup. So we have the two guys who've been out for a long time, and then we've got upcoming guys, or an upcoming guy against a experienced guy in the other one. So two really good fights headlining the UFC 252 this weekend. I'll hand you back to Stephen, who wants to have a quick chat about Super Rugby.
Yes, Paul, I was just thinking with your show coming up tonight, obviously a review on Super Rugby. I tweeted out on my Twitter account, which is at Stephen73_H. Just basically 5 players who I thought were, or my best player of the tournament. For me, I think I'm wearing a Highlanders shirt today, so I've absolutely loved the way Aaron Smith has played in Super Rugby. To me, he's been next level. But an interesting exercise. Maybe I'm going to tweet out a possible 15 or 23 that have impressed me during Super Rugby. I've obviously tweeted it out, a few names, and I've had a few people come back with maybe names that I've sort of missed along the way. I had the likes of Aaron Smith, Richie Moanga, George Bridge, Ofa Tuangafasi, and Patrick Tuiporoto as probably my players that have really impressed me. But boy, there's a lot of others who have played well. Obviously, Frizzell, the likes of Paripari Parkinson, also in the Crusaders, Will Jordan. We could pick a pretty useful side there, Paul.
Yes, I think you're queuing us up fantastically for the Driving Maul show on Monday at 8 p.m. So tonight we'll review the games, and then we'll review the whole season tournament as a whole on the Driving Maul show on Monday evening, where Stephen will be discussing his 15 selected from that. So do join us at 8 p.m. on Monday evening, where we can go through that and we can discuss that one. Clearly, I'll be picking his team to pieces, just like I'm sure you will be in the live chat for that one.
And Paul, speaking of the live chat, I see Just Blazed 88 has mentioned, what if you add Kurt Angel to the mix? Now, Kurt Angel is an American pro wrestler, I believe so. I'm not too sure what his angle's there, but hey, we'll try to cover whatever he meant by that particular comment. Because I don't look anything like Kurt Angel. Maybe, no, you don't look anything like Kurt Angel either, Paul.
No. I'd have to shave all my hair off to do that, and I definitely do not have an Olympic gold medal for wrestling either, like he does. From back in the day. To finish us off, then we're going to pass over to snow sports, where they had the. Today they will be having the mountain shred challenge, where each team will go off to a different resort, and they'll be videoing how they shred the mountain. So that will look that's around today. Yesterday we had the free ride event that was held on WTF. Team Smoothie chose to play their Joker card in this one, and they came first as well, which meant that their 100 points was doubled to 200 points. So they've jumped from last to first in the overall standings, with Team Smoothie on 260 points. Team Kuzma sits second on 220, and Team Wells have dropped back to last on 180 points there. Some fantastic skiing action down there on the South Island as they take of this new format in the Obisan World Cup Winter Games that they're running this year. That's Shredding Challenge. We should provide some wonderful footage. Let's hope they get that up on their Facebook page. So for all updates now, go to Winter Games NZ on Facebook, and you can get that update. You have now started, well, nearly ended the day the best way, up to speed with all the important sports news. We'll be back at 7 a.m. tomorrow morning to help you start your week the best way. Here on Facebook. If you'd like to listen to us on the go, on your commute to work, or as your be that from the kitchen to the home office, or driving, or public transport, then you can download the podcast. We're on iTunes, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Acast, all those wonderful places. Just search for New Zealand Sports Radio.